Great. I'm so excited to be here. It's my first time in El Paso, so.
How do you like it so far?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's great. I love exploring all the different areas of Texas since I'm fairly new to the state, so.
So we want to know everything about you.
Yeah.
I've been following along for more than a year now.
That's awesome.
And I know that everybody wants to know how to grow a following.
Mm-hmm.
How do we grow connections with brands?
Mm-hmm.
And, what struggles are you, struggling with?
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of my brand and kind of just a background of where I'm coming from, so I started my blog in the summer of 2017. It was kind of a transitional period for me. I was home for the summer living with my parents, saving up money to move down to Austin. And during that time, I was just kind of reevaluating, kind of figuring out what I wanted to do next once I moved down here. And I had a friend that I knew from school, more like an acquaintance, but she had moved out to LA and was gotten pretty big in the influencer space, and I'd always followed her and I always just admired what she did, and I was just like, how is she doing that and how can I do it? Because I just thought it was like super cool. She had great style. It was something that I was just really interested in. So I just reached out to her, just kind of asked her to explain her business, how she got started. And her name is Claudia Graziano, blogger out in LA. And she got back to me, was super helpful, basically like laid out step by step, just like what I needed to do to kind of launch my blog. And so from there I was like, all right, like I think I can do this. So I spent that whole summer just kind of getting it up and going, and without her I don't think I would have started it at all. So that's a tip I have, is just don't be afraid to reach out to people, because most people are really willing to help get you started and to help other women. So that was a great experience with that. And so ever since then, it's been about almost 2 years. I went live July 2017 with my blog. My first post and my first Instagram posts were in July, and from there I've just been putting my heart and soul into it. It's a big passion of mine, and in terms of growing my following, it is really hard in this day and age when a lot of people, the industry has kind of taken off since I started, and so it's getting tougher and tougher, but I think that is just more of a challenge, and it makes it more exciting, I think. And so in terms of growing a following, I think it's really important to just really try your hardest to make connections with the people that already are a part of your audience, really focusing on who is following you already, your audience, and just trying to connect with them as much as you can through sharing personal stories, getting their input on what they want to see from you and from your style and things like that. So I think in terms of a following, it's just really trying to look at yourself as a brand, taking yourself seriously, because if you don't take yourself seriously, no one else is going to. So I think it's really important to just take yourself seriously and then really try your hardest to just grow not so much the number of followers you have, but your engagement with the followers you do have. Because nowadays, a lot of brands don't even really care how many followers you have. It's more just about, okay, the followers that you do have, how many of those followers are actually engaged with your brand. So that's kind of a little bit of background of how it's been for the past few years.
What were the tools that your friend showed you to gravitate your blog?
Yeah, kind of to get it up and going. So a lot of technical things like, okay, you need to buy a domain. You need to figure out your brand name, which for me, it's just my first and last name, because I'm the only Hilary Fornefeld in America, which is super cool. Wow. Yeah, so everything was open for me. So every social platform, HilaryFornefeld.com, none of it was taken. So I was like, I'm just going to keep it as my name, just because I feel like if I make up any other kind of name, I'll end up not liking it a couple years from now. So I'm like, just do my name. She helped me figure out how to start a WordPress site, which, for me, like my website is really important to me. I know some influencers don't do websites, but for me, I like writing. I enjoy that, and so it's also something that I own, because I don't own Instagram. That could change on a monthly, yearly basis. So it's nice to have that website where I can go to that and completely own that content. So she just really helped me just kind of and also just explain to me like what exactly a blogger / influencer does, because I really didn't know. And that's why I like to think that I want to be super helpful with people who are starting out as well, just because she really helped me with that. And it's really important that I can do that with other people that want to start as well, because without her help, I wouldn't have any idea where to start. So,
and what what are you doing differently as far as, let's talk about your brand, because your brand for me stood out because we were talking about it earlier, that you're going for a look.
Right.
And your look is?
Yeah. So I like to focus mainly on fashion. That's where my bread and butter is. And I really and focus on, I like to say my look is like Southwestern Bohemian. So my blog basically launched when I moved down to Texas. So I'm really trying to incorporate just like the Texas vibe and Texas feel. And I'm not from here, but I feel like Texas is like way my style. So it kind of worked out that I ended up moving here. So I like to incorporate even just like cool like cowboy looks, like a lot of cowboy hats, cowboy boots, just a lot of like desert kind of looks and like that kind of style. So it's just a lot of just like bohemian kind of Western style. So that's what I'm trying to stick to. So
and what would you tell like an entrepreneur who's starting off? Like how do you find that? You know,
like find your look.
Right.
Yeah. That's hard. For me, it does have to do with kind of where you're living, I think, just because it's like I really want to appeal first and foremost to Austin and then also to the state. So it's like I started my blog just kind of like being really locally focused with working with the local brands, working with other local influencers. And so I think it's like just knowing the audience and like where you're at kind of thing. And like obviously my audience is first and foremost Texans, and that's kind of like what I'm proud of. And so just kind of for me, it was adapting to like the environment that I live in. And so that's kind of helped with my brand. And also like, I've always been really into like bohemian pieces. And so just kind of like taking that bohemian look, pairing it with a Western kind of like Texas look. So that's kind of like how I got inspired by that. Yeah.
And how do you reach out to brands? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Okay. That's a great question. So for the first, I'd say like year of my blog, I didn't really focus on reaching out to brands. I just kind of focused more on like just building my content. I didn't expect to like make any money or work with any brands, like at least that first year, just because it's like, you just can't expect it to happen right away. So I really focused on working, not working with, but using local brands, like going to the local boutiques around town, offering, just introducing myself basically and being like, I would love to shoot some of your looks, for free, and just to get like their brand out there and to help me build up some content. So the first like year or so, that's kind of what I did, was just I was more focused on buying my own looks as well as going to local stores and basically being like, can I borrow an outfit to shoot and you guys can use the photos for whatever you want. So it's kind of like a collaboration, like helping them out, helping yourself out. And then, once I have started to grow a little bit of a larger following, brands have started coming to me, which is like super motivating, just because it's like you go through like ebbs and flows, like highs and lows with this business. And I think every time like a great brand reaches out to you, it like just motivates you that much more. Like, okay, like I can do this. Like this is why I'm doing it. It's because like it's really cool when like a national brand like notices your content and recognizes that. And I'm really focusing now on trying to work with larger brands, keeping my local brand influence as well, because that's always my foundation to my blog. But I want to start also working with bigger brands and not just in establishing more of like ongoing partnerships, not just like one and done kind of thing. I really want to have like ongoing partnerships with different brands. And one of that is actually Fabletics. I just started working with them. They reached out to me.
Awesome.
So that's kind of like starting. So I just started working with them last month. So that's an ongoing, every month they'll send me some new looks to shoot. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm hoping in the future to establish more like ongoing work. So
how has your life changed with media?
That's like, that's a good one, because like I was telling you earlier, I'm more of a private person. I'm not like a natural sharer. A lot of influencers are, and I don't feel like that comes naturally to me. And in this space, I gotta work at that. And so I think with social media, it's changed because I really have become more vulnerable. And I think I put myself out there more than I would if I wasn't in this business. And so I think just getting me out of my comfort zone and really even just like working on my people skills and like work and learning how to connect with people through social media, I think is super cool. And also, like we were talking about earlier, people do pay attention, and like I don't really realize it until like I have friends and acquaintances, and they will like tell me like, oh, I saw this on your post yesterday, and like I really like, that resonated with me. Or it's like I've talked about like what kind of guy I'm looking to date because I'm single, and and a girl that like I know, she was like, oh, she goes, I saw your story, like I know what kind of guy you want, so I'm gonna keep my eyes out for you. So it's like stuff like that where it's like I really don't realize that like there are people that do pay attention, and that's just like crazy to me. I just never thought that anyone would really care. So it's cool to have that kind of relationship with the audience.
Yeah, you can definitely get the authenticity of your blog.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm working on figuring out how much to share and not sharing too much because I don't want to overshare. I like to keep some things personal. So I think it's finding that line between like knowing what to share and what to keep private. So
how do you say yes? How do you learn to say no to no and yes to yes?
Yeah. You mean like saying no
to certain jobs?
That's hard because when I first started out, I want to say yes to everything. Because it's like once you get emails from people, it's like you get excited and you're like, yes, I want to do it. Of course I'll do it kind of thing. But then quickly I realized that you can't burn the candle from both ends. So for me, it's really been hard to learn how to say no. But it's something that like, especially as I get busier, I just have to be a little bit more selective with that kind of thing, and just have to know that like it is business and like it's not personal, kind of thing, which is hard for me to get over. But I've learned more to take care of myself and not to just like say yes to everything because I don't have the time, and I need to like have my personal life to an extent. So I've gotten a lot better with that, and I feel like I'm at a space where I know how to appropriately decline certain jobs and things like that. So that's something that I definitely feel like I've mastered more than when I first started. So,
and now that you're getting these jobs, do you feel like you're using certain apps to kind of like micro manage your media? And
like
stuff?
different apps. You're saying different apps, like with brands, or just
like
different apps?
On yours.
Yeah, like editing apps or things like that. Yeah. So I shoot a lot with like a professional photographer. I don't do a lot of like iPhone shots, but sometimes I will, and that's when I edit my own photos. Usually when I'm doing a shoot, like my photographer will edit for me because we kind of have picked a good filter and they know what I want. But if I ever end up shooting my own content, just like for instance, I was just at Coachella and Stagecoach last week, and that was all my own. I don't stick with one filter. I kind of just go through my apps, and I just whatever looks good for that photo. I don't have like a strict like filter. I know some people use just one, but I like to use Polar. It's Polar, I think. It gives you a cool kind of like I don't know how to explain it. It's like it has some cool effects on there. It's not so much filters, but like it can make your photos a little blurry, or like can like sharpen them or things like that. Just kind of give them like a fun like effect. And then I also use Color Story. Color Story has a lot of filters, like a lot to choose from. So that's usually what I use when I'm editing. And then also like Adobe Express on like it's like super easy on an app because you can like crop people out and stuff like that, like all through like your phone. So it's kind of fun to play around with that as well. But I think those are like the three main apps that I use when I'm posting on Instagram. So,
and where are you grabbing your inspiration? Who are like three of the best bloggers? Or
I love talking about other bloggers because like I have like some favorites. One of my favorites is Peyton Sartain. She is from Texas, but she's out in LA now. I respect her so much. She runs her business so well, and you can just really tell that she's so passionate about it. She's never produced bad content. Like every single photo, everything she does, you can just tell that she has put her heart and soul into it. And she's just like a cool girl. She has great style. So she was one of the first bloggers I ever followed when I started, and she just motivates me all the time to just do better because she's just really good at what she does. And then the second one is High End Hippie. Also out in LA. She is like best friends with Peyton, and so that's why I follow both. She, in my opinion, I like to think I have a very unique kind of style, and she has a very unique style, and she's very trendy. And I think with so many bloggers out there, it's easy to just like everyone kind of starts to look the same, and she is one that completely does her own thing and has the most unique outfits, and like it's so refreshing to see that on your feed when so much looks the same and she stands out every time I scroll through her pictures. And then the last one is Brittany Xavier. She's one of like the really big influencers. She has like over 1 million followers. She was the one that inspired me to cut my hair short because she's like known for her short hair. And so I literally I was like, I want my hair to look like this. And so she's like super, and that's cool because it's like, that means you're doing your job. If you're like inspiring people to like completely change their hair, like good for her. Like, so she's just and also I pay attention to her because she's blown up and she's huge now, and it's like she's obviously doing something right. So I really try to pay attention to just like I check in on them every day just to like keep up with what's going on and to just like stay motivated. So
oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And it's good to see that other, like, you're promoting other bloggers too.
Oh, totally. And that's what I love the most about this industry is like everyone is like motivating each other. It's like iron sharpening iron kind of thing. It's like you should constantly be checking in on like other people that you follow just to keep you sharp and just like see what like, you know, like see what's going on out there in the industry. And like it's like everyone it's just a motivator, at least for me. So yeah.
And what would you tell another entrepreneur that was like just starting off, or we're struggling, or you know how we were saying earlier, when you wake up in the morning and you just don't know to keep, you should keep on going.
Yeah, exactly. That's hard. It's especially like being on social media and like basically like you're the brand. It's like hard because not everyone gets it, you know. And I think it's evolving, and I think more people are starting to understand what actually we do. But you know, not everyone's going to get it. Not everyone's going to support you. You know, you just have to like, just focus on your audience and focus on the people that do support you, and just remember that, and remember just like how much you love what you do, because I just love what I do. And like, even if I like had the smallest following ever, it's like, that is like, I need that creative outlet. I would still be doing it because it's like, for me, I feel so proud when I like envision a shoot, envision the outfit, and then like the pictures come back and if it's like turns out like exactly like an envision, like that like fuels me. And so I think no matter how large or small my following is, I think I would still be doing this to some extent just because it's like it gives me life. So yeah.
I want to know, like, what are some of your hardships that you've gone through?
Yeah.
Because has it been easy?
No, I mean, no, like, I mean, I probably haven't had it as hard as some people, but also it hasn't been easy either. It just like takes a lot of work because I mean, most people don't know that I do have a full-time job. This isn't my full-time job. So, I don't have a lot of free time just because if I'm not at my full-time job, I'm doing this. And it for me right now at the stage of life I'm in, I'm single. I don't have kids or anything. So it works for me. I have the time to do both. I think as I get older, if I end up having kids, I think that that's when I would probably want to reevaluate and hopefully maybe go full time with this, just because like it would be nice to have a flexible schedule if you had kids or something like that. But for now it works. But I think that's been really a struggle, is just like balancing a social life, a personal life, like work, and then this. And so I think just trying to find the balance and like keep your sanity and know like when you need to take a break. Like don't work yourself to the point where you're just miserable. So it's been a struggle just to balance that, and it's ongoing. I think another struggle is, something that I've been wanting to work on is my engagement. I want to increase my engagement with my posts on Instagram, and I want to continue to drive more people to my blog. So I think that's a goal of mine, is to continue. Like, I feel like I could do a lot better with my engagement. So I'm trying to focus on that for 2019, just kind of trying to connect more with my audience. So.
And where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Yeah. If I'm still single, I see myself still having a full-time job and doing this on the side. If I ended up, having a family, I really would like to do this full-time. So I think, it could go either way. We'll see what happens. And then just on top of that, I want to have more partnerships with national brands, and I want to hopefully have like way more ongoing partnerships. I want to have partners that I work with for like years. So I'm hoping that I can establish connections with some larger brands and increase those jobs. So,
and what can you share with us that we don't know? I know that you said that there's a little bit, but something that we want to know.
Oh my gosh, that's hard. I think something that people don't think they know about me, but they don't, is that like I'm really approachable, and I'm really willing to help other people out that want to be in this industry or something similar to this. I don't know, like I've been told sometimes that like I'm not approachable or whatever it is, and like I really like, I am an open book. Like I would love for other women or men who are trying to get into this industry or are already in the industry to come and like DM me, email me, whatever. Like if you're in Austin, I would love to meet up with you. Just because like I know how helpful that was for me when I was first starting out, and I want to like be that same resource for people. So I think people maybe don't know that like I'm open for that, and I would love people to just reach out to me because I would love to, you know, help them in any way that I can and offer advice. So.
Hi guys, we're here with questions and answers from our guest, and then some more questions I may have, you know, because I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Let's go get them all first.
Okay. So what do you do first thing you do in the morning? What time to wake up? What's your morning routine? And what's your everyday life?
Oh, I love talking about schedules. I'm such like a routine kind of person, so this is great. So like I said, I do have a full-time job. So I wake up at 6 a.m. every morning. I'm at work by 7. I work from 7 to 4. I have an hour and a half lunch break during the day. So I'm either at the gym or I'm working on my blog. So it's like a great middle of the day time. Like an hour and a half is a lot. You can get like a lot done. So that's during the day. I get home. I'm off work at 4, get home at about 4:30. And most of the time, I am going straight to work on some blog stuff, and I spend a lot of my evenings just working on my brand and working on my blog. Not every day after work, because I do need a little bit of a break, but I try to just come straight from work to home and start working on my blog for most of the evening. And then on the weekends, you know, if I don't have anything going on during the weekend, I'll spend that whole weekend working on my blog. But I'm not going to like. I let myself live. I'm gonna have weekends, but if I have a completely free weekend, that's all dedicated to working on stuff for my blog. And then also weekday evenings, every 2 weeks, I have a shoot. So right after work at about 4:35, I meet up with my photographer, and we shoot. I like to shoot about twice a month or every 2 weeks, and that's in about 3 to 4 looks every shoot. So that keeps me going until the next shoot. So
oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
How did you pick Austin, to move to Austin?
I love that question, actually. So I was living in Chicago before I moved on to Austin, and I'm from the Midwest, so I'm from Indiana, and so it was a pretty easy move going up to Chicago. A lot of my friends were already there, but I knew that I didn't want to live there long term. I knew I always wanted to be somewhere else, and I also knew that I wanted to live somewhere warm because I'm from the Midwest. I lived there for 22 years of my life, and I never got used to the winters. And in Chicago, brutal winters. And so I was like, I can't do this anymore. And my younger sister, who's 3 years younger than me, she had always loved Austin as a city. She always knew that she wanted to move there after school. And so basically, she kind of picked that for me. I was like, well, if you're moving there, why don't I move there? It's a great city. It's in a warm state, and I love Texas. And so I basically kind of just waited for her to graduate. So once she graduated, we moved down to Texas, to Austin together, and I don't think I would have made that big of a move unless I had someone I knew, a friend living there. So it was so great to have my sister to move with, just because I don't think I would do it alone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love Austin, and I see myself in Austin for the long term. So yeah, it's a great city. So yeah.
How do you manage to answer to so many people, to your followers?
To keep engaged with them, and even apart from the audience is having to keep up with the brands and the people that work with those brands. That's hard to do. So I think for me, it's carving out some time every week just to focus on like engaging with my audience, keeping up with the brand relationships that I have, checking in. I was given this advice. It's good, even if you're not actively working with the brand at that time, if you've worked with them in the past, to check in like every 6 months with that brand, just to be like, I'm still here, I'm available kind of thing, just so you can keep yourself on their radar. And so I think I carve out time every week to make sure that like I'm engaging with my audience and also keeping up with my brand relationships that I do have. I think it's just like being intentional about making that time, because if I don't, then it's hard to do. So
how do you email a brand? Like, what would be the right words to talk to a brand?
Yeah, that's a good one too. So I think initially the first email should just be an introduction, just kind of a quick background on your brand. I like to attach a media kit. That's always brands really expect to see that. So creating a media kit, basically laying out like your statistics, like your followers, your engagement percentage rates, just like what you're available, what kind of work you're available for, and things like that. Just basically be like, hey, love your brand. And then also it helps if you have worn their clothes before, sending over photos of what you've already done with that brand, even though it wasn't a brand partnership, just so to show that you genuinely wear their clothes or use their product. And so I'll send over anything like that shows them that I really do love their brand. And then I'll just be like, would love if you could put me on your list, keep me in mind for any upcoming projects with influencers. And then sometimes if it's a brand that I really want to work with, I'll kind of map out like an idea that I have for a collaboration with them and kind of just take it from there and just see their response. You don't want to put too much in that first introduction email. You want to just kind of give an introduction and be like, I want to work with you guys, and then just see the response from there and then just like take it from there with that brand. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for the questions.
Of course.
Sorry.
One more?
How do you get people to follow you?
Yeah.
Or what's your target?
Yeah, like my target audience kind of. So I really, when I first moved down to Austin and I was new at it, I was really trying to focus on just like a local following. I really wanted to establish myself as an Austin blogger first. Like, I think you really need to start with who you're surrounded with first before just being like, oh, I want to be huge and I want to be national. But like, you really need to start like with your city and move out from there. So I think I really tried to focus on growing my local Austin audience, and that was through working with local brands, and so that really helped. And then when I moved down to Austin, I reached out to all of the Austin bloggers that I knew. I emailed all the ones that I could find, and I was basically like, I want to meet up for coffee, just so I can get my face out there, just so I can meet the other women in person, and so I could pick their brain about their brand and learn from them. And from there, I got introduced, like one of the girls that I met, she was like, we have this group chat that we do, and so I got kind of put in with that group. And so like just reaching out, like not everyone will say yes, but like a lot will. And it's as simple as just like, I want to meet you for 20 minutes, coffee, just to introduce myself. And so from there, it just grows and your network grows. And then eventually I started looking to try to partner with national brands, but at first I just really focused on like Austin, Texas audience and Austin, Texas brands. So yes.
What do you do like for yourself to relax when it's not related to blog posting or like Instagram? Like, what do you do not related to internet or social media?
Exactly.
Or
so I'm a homebody and I like being alone. Like I'm good at being alone. Probably too much. Like I had to like make myself get out and be social. But so I like really like just like to hang out at home. I have a little kitty, so I hang out with my cat. And I love to read, and I'm really big with TV shows. I love to watch TV shows. So like for me, like I put my phone in my room on the charger, and I go out to another part of my apartment, read, watch whatever current show I'm watching. Just like really, I love to just chill at home, and I have a pool at my apartment, and I love being out by the pool. So any weekend where it's nice out, I'm like out by the pool. Like that's just like my thing. So that's just like I make an effort to like put my phone in my bedroom so that I don't see it when it lights up. And so like that really helps because then it's just like out there, and I can just have like the weekend or the night just to like chill and do my own thing. So
what are you reading right now? Sorry.
It's so funny. I'm reading Harry Potter right now. I've never read it, and I've never seen the movies either. I'm probably like the less than 1% of the population that has never seen the movies, never read the books. And so like my sister is like really big. She's like convinced. She's like, you have to read the Harry Potter series. And so I'm on number 4 right now, and the hype is real. Like I haven't watched the movies yet, but as soon as I finish all the books, then I'm gonna do like a weekend binge of like all the movies in order. So I'm like really excited. So that's like I'm like a Harry Potter like nerd right now. So I know I'm like 10 years late to the game, but I'm there. So yeah.
Never too late.
Yeah.
I have another question. Since your Instagram's like fashion like focus, what's your like go piece or like why do you like to wear that like defines you?
Yeah, jumpsuits and matching sets. Just because they're so easy. It's already an outfit. Like, you don't have to like put anything together. It's like a jumpsuit is one outfit and it looks super, super cute and they're always super comfy. Or like a matching set, like a matching top and matching like flowy pants, just because it's like that's an outfit. You don't have to like, it's just so easy, and it's like flowy pants are so comfy. And so that's like my, like, I think I have more blog posts about jumpsuits and matching sets than anything, just because it's like my go-to. I just end up buying
You
it.
don't have to worry about what I'm gonna wear with this.
Right. It's so easy.
Something.
Yeah, exactly. So and I just feel the most and it's so comfortable. Like I feel like myself in it. So that's my go-to style, I'd say. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for all the questions. and answers.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.